So after our first ghost lab for the REM pod, many of you had questions, and we're here to get you answers. So one of the most common questions we got was about the REM pod and how close it had to be to a walkie-talkie in order to set it off. All right, so the first thing we'll do, we'll turn on the REM pod. And what we have here is a multi-channel two-way walkie-talkie that we got on Amazon. I'll just turn it on.
Power on.
So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to push this button really quick, release it. Chad is actually standing behind. He's got the camera and he's got a second walkie-talkie that we're transmitting to. So we'll see how the REM pod responds. So what you saw when I just pushed and released the talk button, it set off the blue light for probably 5 seconds. And this is Chad standing away about 10 feet. So we're going to do this again. I'm just going to push and release the talk button. We'll see how the REM pod reacts. Chad's backed up about 10 feet, so he's probably about 20 feet from me now. So this time we're going to actually reverse, and Chad is going to press and release the talk button to transmit to me, and we'll see how the REM pod responds. So we're going to try this again. I'm going to push and release the talk button. Chad's back probably about 50 feet this time, so we'll see if that makes a difference. So this time we got a solid purple for probably about 5 seconds. So Chad just transmitted to me. I could hear his transmission through my walkie-talkie. No response on the REM pod. So we're going to try this again. Chad has stepped back probably about 100 feet. I'm going to press and release the talk button. We'll see if the REM pod picks that up. So the REM pod picked it up. It's interesting, the green light flashed for maybe half a second, and then it went to the red light that held for probably 3 seconds. So it appears that the light that goes off is dependent on how far the walkie-talkie is transmitting. So now I'm about 25, 30 feet away from the REM pod. Chad's about the same distance. We'll try this again. I'll press and release the talk button and see if it triggers it. So as you saw, distance matters when it comes to how the REM pod reacts, whether it's me transmitting to Chad or Chad transmitting to me at different distances. The REM pod sets off different colors and for different lengths. So distance and direction of the signal seems to make a difference. So another thing we noticed in this experiment is that in addition to distance and direction of the transmission making a difference, the orientation of the walkie-talkie also makes a difference. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press and hold the talk button, and you'll see that I can use the orientation of the walkie-talkie to determine which light lights up. I'm going to go back to purple, back to blue, red. As you can see, if I hold the walkie still, the color holds. So it's not perfect, but there is a strong correlation. So I'm holding it now, green will make it go to yellow, blue. Make it go back to yellow, blue. So again, not perfect, but there is a strong correlation depending on how I'm orienting the walkie-talkie. So if there's someone in this room with me, can can you go light up that REM pod just to let us know that we're here, or that you're here? Okay, it seems like someone's here. Let's see if, can you make that light turn green, or light up the green light? All right, thank you. Let's, I like the green light. All right, let's see how good you are. Can you make the yellow light up? Good job. Just made the yellow light up. All right, back off. What do you mean? That's okay. All right. All right, so you've made the green, you made the yellow lights go. You were touching the blue for a little bit. Let's see if you can do the blue this time. Okay, that's the green, yellow. There you go. Good job. Okay, hold it. Go back to blue, hold it. Okay, let it go. So one of the big lessons from this Ghost Lab is we love to use the REM pod. Others love to use the REM pod, but you really have to be conscientious about how you use it, where you set it up, what other instruments you're using, because that could set off the REM pod in any number of ways. In fact, even in a way that it may seem like you're getting an intelligent response when it's just someone using a walkie-talkie just like this. So, and that's one of the reasons we always try to have at least 2 instruments capture any evidence that we have. That way we know it's not the REM pod going off because of a walkie-talkie or a phone or some other instrument. We've got 2 independent sources capturing that evidence.